overdevelopment, overpopulation, and overshoot has been incredibly popular because I think people are just now beginning to understand, what does overshoot mean? Overshooting what? So overshoot is you're living beyond your means, and that can be food production, that can be oil production. It's every part of what we consume. Is that by and large, numerically, we are using more than the earth can produce. And there's a fellow in Switzerland who actually calculates this every year. And if you take a 12-month calendar, August 2014 is the date in which in that year we went into overshoot as a planet. And every year it's getting shorter. I think you can't talk about global health, social justice, and justice within the non-human world without addressing the idea of overhuman population. Overpopulation is a fact. The number of humans being born every year is creating the most damaging impact on human and non-human systems. The conversation around agriculture today is, how are we going to feed 9 billion people? You have to stop and say, do we want to be 9 billion people? Because that's a choice. And it's a serious consequence if you make the wrong choice. And then what happens when you go to 10 billion? We adapt and adopt ourselves too easily. Oh, well, it's going to be 9 billion people. Well, why not say it can't be 9 billion people? So what do you do about it? All right, you don't want it to be 9 billion people. What do we do about it? Every country, every society has to decide for itself the means by which they could reduce their rate of reproduction. Nobody can overlay a system over another society, another culture. That's never going to work, and it's not even ethical. But we do have a moral decision to make that 9 billion people not only affects the natural world, but it affects the quality of the 7 billion people who are here today. If you look at the percentage of people who have no access to clean water, if you look at the number of people who are living in abject poverty, if you look at the consequences of climate change on agricultural land and the ability to grow food in what is always the marginal areas, and you think you're going to overlay 2 billion more people across this planet and have anything but a lousy outcome and a painful, unfair outcome, because again, it's the people who are living in the most marginal areas who will suffer the most profoundly. So the question of population, human population, has got to be not just a conversation, it's got to be the central conversation that we're all having. So I just don't accept the argument that human population is an assumption, that a population of 7 billion to 9 billion to 10 to 12 billion is acceptable. And the idea of burying your head in the sand on the conversation around population is over. It is unavoidable. So let's have it now and go for, it shouldn't be the greatest number of people. It should be the highest percentage of dignified, healthy lives everywhere in the world.